Specks of black iron sand ricochet off the blood-red armor of Oshova as he stands stoically staring off into the distance.
I know you're there, Oshasera. There is no hiding here,
Farsight says as two blasts of superheated plasma shoot out of the nothingness. The renegade of the Enclaves blocks both shots with a shield generator. The black sands shift as the invisible warrior repositions herself for another attack, but Farsight's battlesuit tracks this movement. 3 shots from his plasma rifle unload. A small explosion erupts, but the debris is far too small.
a drone.
And just as Farsight realizes this, a barrage of missiles rain down on him. Direct hit, but out from the obsidian smoke, Farsight ignites his jetpack and launches into the air. With a mighty slash of his Dawnblade, another explosion rings out. This time, it's one of the mechanical arms of the XV-22 stealth suit. Shadowsun's camo field flickers on and off, revealing her angered face. They clash over and over again in an aerial battle, but the Dawnblade inches closer and closer to a death blow with every swing. Farsight then takes the upper hand as he kicks her back down to the black sands. He rushes in, sword at the ready, and manages to impale her. However, Shadowsun had ejected at the last second. A bright blue explosion enveloped Farsight as Shadowsun had set her fusion blaster to overheat. Farsight's XV-8 crisis suit is torn apart. Half of its chassis melted down, revealing the fire warrior inside. Shadowsun walks up, pulse pistol in hand, and places the muzzle on Farsight's head. However, Farsight was repositioning his plasma blaster. In unison, they speak.
For the greater good.
What's up, guys? Sound Alchemist here to finish up Tau Sember with another Grim Dark Battles. This time we've got 2 of the commanders who were taught under the tutelage of Pure Tide, and now they're being pit against one another. Who will come out on top? Commander Farsight, the Renegade, or the hero of the greater good, Commander Shadowsun? Both of these warriors have fought before in Grim Dark Battles, but never against one another. Now, if you've never heard of Grim Dark Battles, basically what it is a battle that is decided based on the lore, weapons and war gear, as well as the community vote, and even on the tabletop. So place your bets, and let's dive right in by analyzing the patient hunter, Shadowsun. Trained by the legendary Commander Puretide, Oshasera has led the Tau Empire to many victories, such as halting an orc invasion or stalling the Imperium long enough until they leave to take on a bigger threat. She has survived an assassination attempt by a Calidus assassin, as well as killing the former chapter master of the Raven Guard, Severax. During the 5th Sphere expansion, Shadowsun and her forces reunited with the Lost Tau and fought against the Death Guard to a stalemate. All these accomplishments and more have earned her the title of Supreme Commander of the Tau Empire. Now, with that being said, let's take a look at her weapons and war gear. Recently, GW has released a new model for Shadowsun during the events of the Psychic Awakening, and with that, she has a few new upgrades to her armaments. Her XV-22 Stalker battlesuit allows her to utilize a flechette launcher, a light missile pod, high energy fusion blaster, a dispersed fusion blaster, and even a pulse pistol. Her firepower has gone up dramatically as she has so many weapons to fire at range. But that's not all. She also brings a few drones into battle with her as well. One grants her a reroll to hit on a roll of 1, one gives her a -1 to hit via her camouflage field, and she also has an advanced Guardian drone, which gives her a 4-up invuln save and a 6-up feel no pain, which really comes in handy. But Farsight's suit in general is a little bit tougher, and he has more wounds. But will that be enough? Let's find out by looking into the lore and armaments of Commander Farsight. Oshova, or better known as Farsight, was once called the hero of the Tau Empire. Time and time again, he led the Firecast to victory after victory, be it against the brutish orcs or the prideful humans of the Imperium. This sounds pretty familiar, as he too was taught under the ways of war from Commander Puretide, alongside that of Shadowsun. He specialized in fighting orcs and even wrote a book of the Beast, a tome that taught other fire warriors about orc psychology and battle doctrines in order to better understand these orcs and more easily best them in war. With his killing blow way of warfare, he became a beacon of hope for the Tau, until the incident on Arthas Malak. On this artifact world, the Tau fought against the forces of chaos, and very few Tau survived. With the ethereals that were accompanying Farsight now dead, Farsight turned away from the greater good and created his own breakaway faction, the Enclaves, leaving this world with a mysterious blade in hand. Together with 8 famed Tau commanders, Farsight has continued to fight for his people in his own way, apart from the teachings of the governing ways of the ethereals. He too has survived an Imperial assassin attack, and has most combat experience out of any Tau, since he has lived far past the average lifespan of any Tau, due to his Dawnblade. On the tabletop, the Dawnblade is a Strength +3, AP -4, D3 damage weapon of war. Together with his high-intensity plasma rifle, he is able to dish out damage both in close and at range. Just like Shadowsun, Farsight also has a 4-up invuln save, but it comes from his shield generator and not from a drone. Lastly, he is able to reroll 1s in melee when rolling to hit. And now, with all this being said, let's go ahead and find out who is the victor of this grim dark battles. Let's start off by looking at the community poll. So this poll I asked about 2 weeks ago, and it got over 1,000 votes. And the winner, with 74% of the vote, is Commander Farsight. Usually with these polls, it ends up being a one-sided popularity contest, and Farsight has always been pretty well liked since his playstyle revolves around battlesuits, and battlesuits is what draws people to play the Tau. A lot of people that play Tau are weebs, so I guess we have weebs to thank for Farsight winning the popularity poll. Next up, we have the Tabletop Battle. Here I did a best 2 out of 3 match between these two commanders in a 24-inch square with no terrain. This ensures that there is at least 1 turn of firing ranged weapons before the close combatness can begin. And of course, 40K is a game of luck and probability, since we are rolling dice to figure out who will win, so this doesn't always mean that the victor of this 2 out of 3 match will always be the victor. But with that being said, Game 1 had Shadowsun outshoot Farsight and killed him on turn 2 before he can get into close combat. The combo of light missile pod and high energy fusion blaster did tons of damage thanks to a few missed invulnerable saves from Farsight. Game 2 had Farsight barely getting into melee. With only 1 wound remaining, he ended up taking Shadowsun with his Dawnblade. So we could see that at range, Shadowsun is better. However, if Farsight manages to get into close combat, his sword will cleave through her. So with 1 win apiece, we went down to the final game, and it ended up being a repeat of Game 1. Shadowsun just has way too many ranged weapons at her disposal, and a 4-up invuln isn't enough to save you from these attacks, and at the end of the day, Commander Shadowsun is just a better model on the tabletop. With this victory, we currently are Farsight 1, Shadowsun 1, and we have the deciding factor in this grimdark battle, which comes down to the lore. Now Oshova and Oshasera are both prodigies of war. Both have led countless victories against many opponents, but in my opinion, Farsight takes the win because he is the better fighter and tactician due to his experience and long life. The Dawnblade has allowed him to experience life outside of ethereal control, and thus he's able to experience many more things than Shadowsun. He has fought against various other races, experienced tactics unbound by the teachings of the greater good, and he's even seen the threat of chaos and the Tyranids, something that the Ethereals basically overlook. Now, Shadowsun also has lived a long life, but that's because she has been placed in stasis for multiple years until her brilliant mind is needed on a campaign. Her actions, battles, weapons, and war gear are all given to her by the Ethereals, thus it's all contained by what they deem is acceptable. So due to his life-stealing sword, the Dawnblade, his unorthodox battle tactics, and his freedom, I gotta give this victory to Farsight. Let me know down in the comments if you guys agree or disagree with me and why. I mean, the Tau are right around the corner to getting their brand spanking new 9th edition codex, and maybe that's going to shift the way that the Tau play. Maybe Farsight's going to be a better matchup against Shadowsun. Who knows? I mean, like I said, anything can change. When you roll dice, you never know what's going to happen for sure. But I'm super excited to maybe replay the one-on-one battle on the tabletop to see if Farsight really did improve in 9th edition with the new Tau Codex. But as always, guys, thank you again for watching, commenting, leaving a like, and being subscribed. Happy Tau-sember, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace.